are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. I am your host, Brian Barnaby. And let's just say the boys are back in town.
She got away. Know what I say? She can't choke. She don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. She's gotta go. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin'. We just chillin'. We just feelin'. We just chillin'. We just chillin'. We some villains.
I love it up. I love it up. And I stick at the ammo. And I stick it up on the top of shots. On the top of shots. I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it fall. I make it move. Make it explode. Hit your toes. Hit your nose. Can you touch your toes?
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. I am your host, Brian Barnaby, and Grasso joins me. What's up, man?
How you doing, Barnes?
Long weekend. Not very long. Very long. We'll get into that. And of course, our super producer, Hello world.
I muted myself. Sorry, folks. I was talking to Tony.
And speaking of Tony, he'll come on in a little bit to talk some baseball. He's buzzing. And then we'll be joined by Gino in a little bit. But at first, we are going to start in the world of the National Basketball Association.
LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
So it was a little bit of a smaller slate yesterday, only 2 games. So the first one we'll cover here, the Wizards upset the 76ers, game 4 victory, 122-113. And, obviously the big story here, Embiid hurt again. And it's just a shame when you have a series in the bag. I mean, the last thing you need is him getting hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, this should have been an easy sweep, obviously, if Embiid plays. But yeah, you do kind of worry. He fell hard, and he landed heel first. His knee kind of bent a bit, and then he landed hard in his tailbone. So, and there's a multitude of injuries that we could potentially see here. Obviously, Philly's not going to really say much about it in the playoffs, but you just hope maybe it's just a bruised tailbone and a couple of days off his feet. He'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, we got to wait to see what comes out of there.
And I just feel like it puts him in an interesting predicament because it's like, maybe you would say, okay, I mean, the series is over. Let's not play him the next game. But then by extending it a couple, you know what I mean?
It hurts me.
You can't really win either way, I don't think.
It hurts me.
I mean, I'm not playing him the next game. I'm giving him get a night off.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wizards still, take Embiid off the Sixers, and I still give the advantage.
Oh,
yeah.
All day. It's not even close.
Yeah, no.
And the biggest reason why is Russell Westbrook. I mean, 3 for 19. I don't know what's more likely, the Yankees scoring a run or him making a shot, honestly, at this point. I mean, we'll get into the Yankees in a little bit, but just talk about embarrass yourself. I mean, it's a completely hollow 19, 21, and 14 because you're so inefficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook did make some plays towards the end of the game, pushed the ball in transition and got Hachimura that dunk. And then Hachimura, again, that 3 in the corner kind of sealed it up for them. So, yeah, I mean, the energy is there. I mean, that's how he gets all the rebounds and always the ball. But, yeah, you got to shoot better. If he's going to shoot like that, they have no chance.
I mean, I honestly think Tony could get out there and shoot better. Honestly, I swear to God. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I mean, Tony will probably shoot 4 for 18.
Especially his post-up turnaround jumper.
So, and I mean, Beal had a nice game, 27 points. And obviously you mentioned, Hachimura, 20 points, 13 boards. And even Bertans, 15 points, 3 of 6 from 3.
$50 million man.
And then, on the Sixers, Harris, 21 and 13. And Simmons, as usual, 13 and 12.
I'm going to say this, though. When your starting point guard is getting the hack-a-shack treatment, that is just, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 5 for 11, I think, from the free throw line.
Jesus.
Last night. He's 5 for 20 in the series.
and it's just like, too, you're not a center.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you not shoot?
I know.
That's like a basic basketball fundamental. How are you in the NBA and you can't shoot?
Barnes, me and Grosso have talked about this sometimes, and I think he's actually
supposed to be a righty.
Yeah, I do. I completely agree. He
'Cause
shoots
you
left-handed, but he's not a left.
Wasn't there something about that when he first came out? He was going to switch.
He should have.
Well, everyone was saying he should switch.
He should have.
It's like, oh, I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything else left-handed. He
No.
writes with his right hand.
Yeah.
I think he throws with his
Yep.
right hand.
But is there footage of him like younger playing as a right-handed player or no?
I don't know.
Not sure. I don't think so. He kind of played with both hands, like in high school.
You could see how he shoots though. It's like
It's weird.
he's not strong, and he can't. Yeah, he can't like do a shooting motion at all.
like
with
it doesn't look natural.
No, exactly.
No, there's very few players in the NBA that don't have a natural shot, and those are usually like centers and
Yeah.
Sean Marion.
Yeah. But at least
But
Sean
Ben
Marion
Simmons-
can hit.
Yeah, Sean Marion shot way better than Ben Simmons did. So
Who do you guys think wins the 3-point shootout, Westbrook or Simmons?
Westbrook.
Westbrook's gonna hit 2.
Yeah.
Simmons will hit 0 out of 30.
And Mike, I mean,
Jesus.
Grasso kind of already gave his opinion on this. What's your thoughts on him? Is it an automatic bench for Embiid next game, no matter what the injury severity is?
Even if I'm, what's his name? I'm thinking of
Doc Rivers?
Yeah, Doc. If I'm Doc, I'm sitting him and I'm telling Tobias,
Yeah.
drop 40 tonight. You have the green light, Ben.
Yeah.
You better have 20 assists this game. Like if you're not going to do anything else,
And I was even gonna say, if I'm Tobias, I'm gonna go to Doc and be like, let Embiid get a night off.
Yeah.
I got us tonight.
Yeah. Let me end it.
Yeah.
Let's close this series and
No
go
one on
rest.
that team could guard Tobias Harris.
Nobody.
And I think I saw something. If they had won last night, it would have been the first sweep in like 30 plus years or something for,
For
the
Philly,
Sixers.
yeah, probably back to the 80s, like the Moses Malone.
Yeah. Yep.
So shame you can't get it done, but they'll get another chance
Yeah.
tomorrow, 7:00. They bury it on NBA TV because nobody wants to watch it.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm just praying that Joel Embiid is good because
Yeah.
I feel so bad after
But-
this type of season.
If I'll say this right now, if he's not good, I don't care who they play in the next round, they're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Atlanta
God.
or the Knicks.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, even if Embiid is healthy, with Ben Simmons as your ball handler, you're not beating the Nets or the Bucks.
Yeah.
I have no confidence in the Sixers right now. I mean, with Simmons, literally, and then I think he got an offensive rebound. It was the final 2 minutes. You can't intentionally foul a player, right? Like on purpose to send him to the free throw line.
Is it a technical?
Yeah, they
Changed it. They changed it, right?
Yeah, like so Simmons got a rebound off a missed free throw, immediately gave it to someone, I think Seth Curry or something, and ran straight to the paint, pulled his best Ben Wallace impression. And I'm like, this is what you do on offense, man? Like
Jesus
you're supposed to
Christ.
be, you're a max contract player,
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
best player on this team.
And you're running to the paint.
And he just goes and sits there. And if the ball, he even got an offensive rebound and passed it before he even landed.
Oh my God.
Like he's looking to pass the ball. He can't even touch the ball.
I think he has the yips too, bud.
he does.
Like offensively, he just has the yips.
I mean, what else explains?
Yeah.
He won't even take a 3-pointer. I
Yeah.
think he's taken 3 in his career and made 2 of them. Like,
Do it.
keep
And it's
shooting
kind
them.
of funny when you go through something like this, you kind of think, oh, he goes to a new team, kind of reborn, but it's like he already has a new coach. That literally hasn't changed one thing going from Brett Brown to Doc Rivers.
No, and I thought, and to be fair, Doc is not very hard on his players.
No.
Like,
He's more
I
lovey.
feel like Simmons needs to go play for Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Pop.
But you don't want him
yeah.
going anywhere near the Garden, Mike, right?
No. I think he should go to San Antonio.
I mean, they could use all the help they can get.
We'll take some players back.
Yeah.
I'll even
Deontay
do a
Murray?
I would love
Deontay Murray would
Dejounte
be
Murray.
nice for you guys, dude.
Him and give
Yeah.
me Derek White to fill the
Yeah.
Well,
salary.
because it's just one of
Yeah.
those things like you want a normal point guard, like not all this like we
Yeah.
just weird. It's
I would
just not-
even take a sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
At the
Wow.
back end of his
Yeah.
prime,
Wow.
like, even the back end of his career. I mean,
Yeah.
I would take DeMar DeRozan.
You know what I think happened with the Ben Simmons, like and people around him? I think they fell in love with his size, and he's like a lefty LeBron coming in. You know what I mean? With his floor general, passing skills and Maybe if he developed the jumper, but it just shows there's only one LeBron. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you either do it or don't. And it's already his 5th year, 4th year.
at least.
I think it's his fifth year.
You gotta be.
I think in 2016 he was drafted.
You have to
Yeah.
have a jumper by now.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's one of the best athletes in the world.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Period.
You can see that on the defensive
Yeah.
side of the ball. he's all over the court
Yeah.
defensively. He's probably going to be the defensive player of the
Well,
year.
and I think it just shows us in any sport. I mean, you can't make these assumptions about how stuff's going to develop. It's like football with accuracy and quarterbacks. Oh, it'll come, it'll come. But like, you can't say that.
Yeah.
I
just feel like Ben Simmons might be playing the wrong sport.
Yeah. He'd be a pretty good tight end, no?
Yo, he'd be great. I mean, but he can't catch. He could catch.
He probably should have just stuck to rugby.
Honestly.
Yeah. Probably should have. So we'll probably get some news, on this Embiid injury at some point today.
Hopefully.
Is there any thing to go by that something that's happened before in terms of like a bruised tailbone? Is that usually what's usually the length on something like that?
Well, it depends how hard you land, but a bruised tailbone. Who was talking about? Kenny Smith was talking about on TNT last night that he couldn't walk for 4 days.
Wow.
After a bruised tailbone. Steph Curry was out a good portion of this season, but he cracked his tailbone. He had a little hairline fracture in there.
Right.
But it could also be, if it's a light landing, it might just be a day.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things up in the air. But again, they said sore knee.
Yeah.
So whenever they say anything about a knee or a foot with Embiid, it always kind of makes you
So
worry.
are you not playing him unless there's a game 7?
I'm not playing him. I'll play him. If it gets to 3-2, if Washington wins this next game.
Yeah, you have to kind of.
It depends how healthy he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw it.
I mean, yeah, it looks bad.
Oh, dang, dude.
He did walk off.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm probably not going to play him. I'm pretty confident the Sixers will.
Yeah,
take care
I
of
mean
this.
the Wizards are going to lose the game.
Yeah, he landed right on it.
Almost even.
Yeah, I think the next game is home for Philly and Wells Fargo. So.
Yeah, we're a place that they play well. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. And then the other game from last night, we did have the Jazz 120-113 to take a commanding 3-1 lead in this series. And to the surprise of all of us, we saw the Grizzlies, win this game 1. And I know, Mitchell didn't play. We were like, wow, this is going to be a close series. Like the Jazz aren't as good. And then here they are, they're up 3-1. Mitchell goes for 30 and 8. And it was so funny. I was watching the game with a couple of my friends, and they were talking about Gobert. And I was saying, Valanciunas is so much better. And they literally they were giving me such a hard time about it. They were like, are you kidding? Like, it's not even close. And I was like, oh, I wish you guys were here for this conversation.
Yeah. Well,
if you combine those two players, it'd be an absolute beast.
Yeah,
Valanciunas'
definitely.
offense with Gobert's defense.
I'd take Valanciunas, though, honestly.
I mean, he's had so many big games this year. I mean, how many times is it not just, that's just like a random big game? If you keep seeing it over and over, 20 and 20 all the time.
Yeah, Valanciunas is definitely underrated.
Yeah, he is.
No, I think he is. So you look at the Jazz. So, Gobert 17 and 8, adding to Mitchell's 30, Clarkson at 24, and the 3-point shot. I mean, that's been their weapon all season, 17 out of 34 as a team from 3-point range. So anytime you're going to do that, you're usually going to win a game. So you kind of feel now after the Grizzlies, third straight loss here that, they've kind of packed it in at this point, or.
Yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies, they played really good in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, every
nothing
single
to hang your
game's
head
been
about.
closed. They didn't get blown out.
Right.
And the Jazz are a really good team. So I
Yeah.
think the Grizzlies, they have a lot of positives to
Yeah.
take from this.
Mhm.
They're the youngest team in the NBA. I think their average age is like 24. So they got a bunch of kids on the team.
This is exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, so they're going to go into this offseason heads held high.
Especially without Jackson all season, they're here.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
But, to speak on the Jazz, with the way the Western Conference is right now, there's so many people that, we don't know if they're fully healthy. A lot of teams have been inconsistent. I don't see any reason the Jazz can't come out of the West.
Yeah, right now, right?
We look at the Phoenix Lakers series, Chris Paul's
They're
dealing
both
with that
banged
injury.
up, yeah.
And we're not really sure if LeBron's 100% healthy
Yeah.
right now. And AD's obviously out. And you look at the Clippers, they're struggling. The Mavs are struggling
Yeah.
now too. It's the West is kind of up for grabs, and the Jazz, the ball movement, the shooting, and then when they need a bucket, who's better than Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah. And we did say, though, that the West will be the longest series played out for all those games. But looks like the Jazz are going to take this one 4-1.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. And it's a shame, too, because really you think about how just one little thing changes everything. I mean, it's 2-1 going into this game. They cut the lead, the 2 with 5.5 minutes left. They win this game. And then this conversation we just had is completely different.
Completely. Literally completely.
Jazz suck.
Yeah,
They lose
yeah,
in the
yeah.
first round.
Literally.
What an embarrassment.
Yeah. So it's just crazy the difference, these pivotal game 4s make. And, I think the thing that really hurt them the most is, you go 10 of 35 as a team from 3-point range. We just see that all the time. The teams that lose, their percentages are 30, 20, 15 even.
From three,
so that's usually what does them in. So Jazz are going to look to move on to the second round, Game 5, Wednesday, 9:30. Of course, on NBA TV. That one too.
Bury it.
That's what they like doing. And then, we'll look ahead to tonight in the first game. And, we mentioned this briefly. Lakers at Suns, 10 o'clock on TNT. Series tied up at 2. And obviously the big question, is AD going to play? They mentioned, he has a groin strain after leaving that game over the weekend. And it just seems like every time he falls, it's another injury. So obviously that's a little frustrating. I kind of think he's going to play, but I can't confidently say he's going to finish the game. I can see him aggravating it, honestly.
Yeah, AD looks like that guy. He needs maybe a month off or something, but he's not like hurt, but he's banged up to the point where it's seriously affecting his game. And you take him off the Lakers, and it's tough, man, because LeBron's been really good in this series, but he's been explosive for like short chunks. We haven't seen it for a full game, which kind of leads me to believe like his ankle might not be 100%.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's like 80 or 90.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's fully healthy. And then you look at the Suns too with Chris Paul. He had a good game 3. He looked great, but he didn't look good in the first 2 games. So you just there's so many question marks for the series, and it's really becoming my favorite series. In recent history.
And do you think, because usually, when a series is tied 2-2, the winner of Game 5, a lot of times goes on to win. Do you think that's the case in this series, or it really doesn't matter? It's just probably going to go 7 regardless.
2-7.
I think it comes down to health. Like if AD doesn't play tonight and the Lakers lose, but then he comes back healthy and AD for Game 6 and 7, then the Lakers can easily win 2 games in the series. I'm watching every single one of these games.
You guys saw as soon as AD went out, Chris Paul screaming, "I'm back."
Yeah.
What is that? He got back. He's gone.
But I could tell you something here. I know regardless of who plays, who doesn't, the Lakers are winning this game. We've seen it time and time again. LeBron's back against the wall. He shows up. So I think, he knew this would be a long series going into this series. So I think he saved a little. That's why we've seen him not be as aggressive on the offensive end. So this is going to be another, all-time performance from him. The writing is on the wall for this.
Yeah, you could tell the first 2 games of the series that LeBron's main focus was, I want AD to dominate these games.
Right.
So I'm going to work this offense so he can score. With him out, LeBron's got to put 40 on the board tonight.
Yeah.
Or someone random's got
40. I want to see at least 47 and 7.
And with AD out, I want to see more Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, please.
Oh my God.
What is up with that?
Well,
Play him.
I think Gasol gives you more spacing
and better passer.
But when you're in the NBA and you have talent, there's always room for you. So this coach talk about systems is no. He could give you productive minutes regardless of what your system is, Frank Vogel. Honestly,
the only problem though is him and Andre Drummond can't share the floor.
Right, but when Drummond's on the bench, put him in. It's not it's not rocket science, but for some reason, analytics probably something with this. It's insane.
Harrell also can contain DeAndre Ayton.
No,
there's like a 5-inch advantage there, where Marc Gasol is.
But he can come off, you be in your second unit and score and give you energy.
I know it's what he does. That's what he did it all last year for the Clippers. I haven't seen him do it for the Lakers this whole season.
He's had spurts, but it's been an up and down season.
You can kind of talk about those spurts to be the lineup consistency.
Inconsistent.
Because he doesn't know if he's playing
that night,
or when he's going in. Like most guys coming off the bench, they know they're going in at the 3-minute mark. They know they're coming back out at the 7-minute mark in the second quarter.
Coming back in the third.
They know their role. Montrezl Harrell he shows up and he's like, I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
And Marc Gasol's probably doing the same thing. He doesn't know.
Except his game is just more simple for him to just pick and pop, stand up there, and be like, okay.
Think about where he's going to dinner later.
Literally, dude.
So let's make the assumption, a banged up AD plays this game. Who do you guys got?
I got the Suns, partially because it's in Phoenix. If it's a tight game, I'll lean towards the home team. But I think Chris Paul looked really good in that game 3 or game 4. Sorry. And I think Chris Paul is going to lead this team to victory. Booker's coming off a little bit of a struggle. Look for him to get back hot, but
yeah, I if AD isn't playing, I sense Chris Paul smells blood.
Yeah,
wounded gazelle. So he's got to take this game.
But like the assumption that he does play, who you got?
Lakers.
Okay, closer.
Yes, very close. I'm talking maybe you'd see an ugly AD jumper game winner, and make an awkward Chris Bosh face after.
I mean, I think LeBron hasn't had a big scoring game in a while, so I think, like I said, he's setting up for it. So I'm going to say Lakers win by 4. LeBron 44, 15, and 10. Honestly,
if this comes true, I will buy you dinner, Barnes.
All right,
you predicted a lot of weird stats recently.
I'll buy you dessert.
yeah.
No, honestly, I think LeBron's going to score 40 tonight.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that. I still think Phoenix is going to pull it off in a tight one.
Yeah, without AD, I agree.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. 10 o'clock on TNT, and then the earlier game 7:30 on TNT. The Celtics at the Nets. Obviously we were surprised over the weekend that the Celtics did get a game. In Boston, but I mean it's a 3-1. They throttled them last game. I mean, is there any point in even watching this game now that Kyrie's back in Brooklyn? There's not going to be water bottles thrown at him. I mean, is there any point to this at all?
The only point to watching this game is to watch Kevin Durant's greatness.
and James Harden.
Yeah. And Kyrie Irving's pretty magical, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't stop these three guys.
It's tough.
Boston, they had their one. Tatum got his 150 burger. They got a W. Good for them. But
it's exactly what you want to do for Tatum, too. Like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah.
And
he did it, a lot of it on KD.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was an impressive game for Tatum. He's legit, but they're getting smacked.
I mean, it's a waste of time for them. And I think it honestly might, if this series gets extended, it might actually hurt them because the level of play they're going to get from the Bucks versus what they're getting from the Celtics now, it just isn't even
night
close.
And day.
It's going to be shocking, and they might struggle early because of that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Nets Bucks.
Oh, yeah. Man. I mean, we've been talking about it.
We have to do a live.
First round was Lakers Suns.
First game we're doing live
is Bucks Nets.
Yeah.
Those are the two series to me.
We have to do a watch party for the first game.
I wouldn't be surprised for that series if Giannis averages 45, 15, and 10. Just putting it out there. But hey, looking forward to it. So obvious.
yeah. Honestly, here you go.
Houdini. I mean, so I guess we're going family pick here with the Nets, or
yeah. I mean, dude.
Oh no, I think we're doing Celtics.
Larry Bird is not coming through that locker room.
Oh my God. I mean, at this point for the Celtics, I mean, just maybe let Pritchard play 40 minutes, see what happens. Right?
Dude, see what happens, dude.
Bump that rookie card
Taco
value.
Fall. Have him go for it.
Have him and Taco start. Pritchard and Taco start.
Fun. Brad Stevens is on his way out.
Yeah. Exactly. He can't wait to get out of there. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously Nets looking to advance to the second round. And like we said, playing the Milwaukee Bucks if they are able to come away with a victory tonight. And then the other game tonight, Blazers at Nuggets. This has been an exciting series back and forth, every game. So we're 2-2 here. I think this is a very pivotal game, but this is another one just like the Suns series that might go 7. We've been asking this question a lot. Who wins the scoring matchup between Dame and Jokic tonight?
Dame.
Okay. I think it's Jokic, honestly, because I think too in Denver. I mean, that plays a big role in it.
But Dame's got that Mamba mentality.
Yeah, Dame's different.
How many for?
With the third pick in the 2003 NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Carmelo Anthony from Syracuse University.
Notice how it's Denver. He's in Denver, and he struggled last time he was there. But guess what, Barnes? I have news for you, bud. He's not struggling this game. I see a 25-point game from Melo, 4 for 7 from 3, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a clutch 3-pointer to pull him ahead at the end.
Why not just give him 35? Honestly, I mean,
because he's just not. He's
but you don't think those chants, the booing, kind of fires him up even more?
Just like LeBron is.
Okay,
Melo's saving a big performance for a bigger moment.
Okay. All right. I mean, we'll definitely see what happens there, and we do have
Hey.
Gino joining us.
Hey. What's
Gino,
up?
you
How's
got
it
any
going, boys? No, we good. We good right now.
Oh, I love it.
Gino, I mean,
wow.
let's go right to the chase. How many for Carmelo Anthony tonight in Denver? Fired
in
up.
Denver, 45 probably.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
well, we got big stats thrown out there tonight. But what do you see, in this pivotal, Game 5 matchup here between the Blazers and the Nuggets?
I mean, again, is it really much different from what we really talk about every game with this? It's Jokic had 16 in that Blazers win the other day. That's obviously a huge factor. And then of course, Dame can Dame, put on a show here. And I think if Dame does well and they perform well, and I think that could be him and CJ do a good job and they do well on Jokic. I think that's a good sign for Portland. So I'm gonna probably go with I just can't see on a realistic note. I can't see Jokic having another bad game in a row. I feel like he'll bounce back in this one. So I'm gonna go with the Nuggets have a slight edge in this one, but I think it's going to be a competitive one, and it's going to be a continue to be a good series here.
Yeah, no, I'd agree, but I think home court, especially in Denver. I mean, I think you got to give him the edge, and even if Melo's fired up, there's still a lot of other guys, out on the court.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking, Nuggets actually kind of by 10 here, and Jokic goes back to his 36, 15, and 10, type of games. What do you see? So.
I think the biggest key for Denver tonight is their defense. Because if they can at least contain the Blazers, then they have a good shot to win this game. Because they get all their offense really from Jokic and Porter Jr. I'm not relying on Austin Rivers to go off again.
Yeah.
So, if they can keep Portland around that 100-point mark, I think Denver's got a good chance. But I don't know. I have so much confidence in Dame. I think he's going to have a big game. I think Melo's going to play nice. I think CJ will play all right. I got Portland in a tight game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, it's going to be close. And I'm sorry, Gino, did you make a pick or you were just kind of?
Yeah, no, Nuggets, I think. I'm going with the Nuggets.
Okay.
I can't see Jokic having another bad game, and I think that he'll probably be the factor in I'm winning this one.
And as a bonus pick, Tony, I want to hear it. Who you got?
Whatever. I'm gonna go with whatever Gino said, dude. Is what I'm gonna go with. I have all the confidence in the world in Gino.
It's probably
he's spending so much time looking at basketball stats and not decorating the room he has because it's just a plain white room. So I mean, he's got to know his stuff, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Fair enough. And we didn't really get to talk about this because they didn't play yesterday. But were you guys surprised that the Knicks dropped Game 4?
I'm not too surprised. I was surprised that Randall had another
Chunker
dud of a game.
Yeah.
And Mike's going to definitely talk more about this, but Atlanta looks pretty good.
Yeah. They do.
They're a lot more than Trae Young. I think that's one of the big keys. Atlanta has a better, more put together team.
But would you say you're coming around on Trae Young a little bit?
No.
No, still hate him.
Hard no.
And I have a bold claim, and I said this last night. Next game, Knicks win. Okay? 7-game series. Like we said, Knicks in the Garden, game, set, match. Let's go.
If there's Game 7 in the Garden, we're going.
$1,500? You got $1,500?
No. We'll be outside, Gino. I'll stand outside.
We'll go to the bar down the street and watch the game.
True.
All the crazy fans.
Yeah, I just want to see crazy.
Hey, guys, there was a 3-1 comeback already in a form of playoffs this year. The Canadians just recently completed their 3-1 comeback. They are now moving on past the Toronto Maple Leafs, so it is possible. It can happen.
But are you expecting it?
It's unfortunate. Randall has the yips.
I mean, do you think that's what it comes down to, Mike? I mean,
Dude,
he's right. It's a completely different series.
Yes,
of course.
dude. Yes. If he was the same guy he was all season right now, he's missing. I saw a stat. He's missing 6 foot wide open shots at like 65%. He's missing them right now. Like wide open, uncontested shots. He's got the yips.
Yeah, and he looks like he's really trying way
Too hard.
He's
Yeah.
trying to do everything. He's I just these sidestep mid-range jumpers are just
Killing
it's
him.
not your game. Man.
No.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but first playoff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's nice that it'll be back in the Garden too. I mean, I think that'll help the fans.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't be giving up 22 to John Collins and 21 to Danilo Gallinari. You know, we said this before. Let Trey get his, but make sure the other guys don't get theirs. And I think that's been really the difference maker the last 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously it would be a great storyline, you know, if they could come back and win this game 5 and have a shot here, you know, in the series. And of course, you know, we'll talk about this game more tomorrow. You know, that's when the series resumes.
Yes.
So been an interesting start to the NBA playoffs for sure, but a lot left to give. A lot of things are going to happen that we don't see coming at all. You know, it happens every year. It's the same thing. And hello world to Matthew, Gabriel, and Renee. So
How are you?
shout out to them.
Hello.
But on that note, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to get Tony on for some MLB.
Hey, Gino.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She got away. Know what I'm saying? She can't control. She don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I love it up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab shots on the top of shots. I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes? Simon telling you what to do. Running my commando, hit in the bando, trap in the bando, not like a Rambo. Rocky, Sylvester, Solo. I'm telling you, I get this money.
And Tony joins us. Have a nice weekend, Tony.
I had a wonderful weekend. It could have been better, but
I think mine could have been a little better too.
I'm sure yours could have been.
I've been thinking about this all morning, but we'll give it a second. But of course, we're gonna start in the world of Major League Baseball.
Giving chases Judge, and he dives into the stand.
DeGrom begins the season with an overpowering strikeout of Ronald Acuna.
The wall is gone! 3-run home run! What's going on here? I love it. He drives one to the moon. High, deep, and very gone.
So, you know, as I alluded to, you know, it was a very rough weekend for the Yankees. I mean, and it is just, there's so many people to blame here. It's so pathetic. And I think it starts from the top down, honestly. But before we get into the order of command here and who's at fault, you know, they start this Memorial Day weekend by getting swept by the Tigers. And when we talked about this last week, we were expecting them to do the sweeping, but it's just the same thing over and over and over and over and over again with the offense. And I've been so patient. I've been saying it's around the corner. It's around the corner. But when you fail so many times, you can't keep doing the same thing and making the same excuses. But like I said, I think, of course, the players play the game, but then the inability of the front office, of ownership to not react to what's going on in the field. Are you even watching the games? And I think this starts with Hal Steinbrenner, okay? So I want you to get off the pony track in Tampa, get the big cigar out of your mouth, put the Johnny Walker Blue down the drain, come to New York and rip everyone apart. Because this is completely pathetic.
Oh, come on, Barnes. Come on. You think he's going to do that?
Gino?
You think he's going to do that?
Give me a second here, okay? Because it's just like the past even 20 years, okay? It's just been way too patient. Oh, we have a system in place and our goals in mind and all the coach speak from Aaron Boone. And I don't care that he's a puppet and there's a chain of command in the organization. He doesn't bring value. He doesn't improve the team. So even though, him and Cashman could go out for drinks at the 40 club on the weekend, doesn't mean that he's the right guy. He doesn't improve the team. He's doing nothing, okay? And the biggest problem, obviously, is the offense, of course, okay? So everybody needs to be put on notice here besides Judge, besides Urshela. That's it. Everyone else deserves to be completely on notice. Half the lineup is batting under 200. I don't want to hear numbers. I don't want to hear justification. I don't want to hear exit velocity, okay? Nothing. There's no justification for this. This is completely pathetic, and George Steinbrenner would be rolling over every night after night, not making moves, not just saying, oh, our hands are tight. No, they're not. You could do whatever you want. You're choosing to be stupid and not do anything. And this is just absolutely pathetic. We cannot waste another year and be a pathetic team that can't score runs. We have the second most in the whole majors of games under 3 runs. It is pathetic, and there's no justification for it. And that's it.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but Hal Steinbrenner's track record isn't exactly great when it comes to this type of stuff, I mean, he's been literally sitting on his ass for since he took over. He doesn't really do much. He's not your George Steinbrenner owner. He is not the guy that's getting involved. He's left it up entirely. His only thing was, hey, let's not spend a lot of money. So, and that's very different from his father in the first place. I mean, we knew the offense was going to have problems, right? We knew the offense was going to have problems. It's been having problems for 5 years. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And at this point, it's just gotten to the point where, it's not the playoffs where we're not able to score any runs. It's the regular season where we're not able to score any runs because we're not hitting home runs. This offense was constructed very poorly, very clearly. The rotation the rotation's been good. Very good, but I mean, obviously, it's taken a little bit of a dip since the Kluber injury. I think you're right. I mean, Judge has been hitting the ball well. Urshela has been hitting the ball well. I have to give props to Miggy, who's been hitting the ball well. But those are really the only 3 guys who have come in and actually hit the ball. I mean, you look at those guys, that's probably the only guys with hits any of these games. But come on. Like, there's no way. I don't expect Hal Steinbrenner to do anything. I really don't. And I don't expect.
I mean that he shouldn't, and that he's being a complete loser.
No, I agree. But we're talking about a guy who is very. He's more content with not spending money than he is with winning games. All he does is he just doesn't want to win. He just doesn't want to spend a lot of money.
I mean, he's going to alienate Yankee fans, because it's like, this is not what the Yankees are about. They're not passive aggressive and, our time will come. And like, no, it's your time should be right now. You've won 1 World Series in 20 years and you're just going to look at this lineup and not do anything. And it's just like, Gardner's got to go. Odor's got to go. I mean, you can't have, if you can't score to begin with, how do you add Odor? I mean, he can't even hit 200. Why would you add him? I mean, that was just, I knew it going in. It was just a bonehead move. And it's like, you need to bring guys in who can hit. Florial should be up. Gittins in AAA has been hitting a lot of homers. Bring him up. Like, what are you waiting for? I mean, it's just, it's listen, I'm not sure that the answer is in the minor league system, to be quite honest. I don't think Gittins or Florial is I don't know if Florial's the answer. 200 and score.
I mean, he came up and looked awful in his only game that he played.
Almost homered. What do you mean? He went 1 for 3.
All right, he went 1 for 3. Struck out a couple times, I guess. But I mean, still, like, do you think the answer? There's a lot more problems to this team than Estevan Florial can fix on his own.
I mean, you got to start somewhere, and everybody who's not producing needs to go. That's the whole thing. And it's like, how about how Gleyber Torres, a guy who I love and I would never want to give up, has the second lowest exit velocity on his hits this year? I mean, what is with that? I mean, I just,
again, it's, if I think the Gleyber thing in terms of him getting home runs, at least, is something that has been. I mean, when he came up, nobody expected him to hit any home runs. He was a contact guy, and he grew into that power guy. And now we're seeing very clearly that maybe a little bit of that was a fluke with the balls and whatnot. But he's got to improve. I mean, a lot of people have to improve. But I mean, it's like the outfield is in shambles. I mean, you got no Aaron Hicks. The other guys that are playing the outfield really aren't, other than Judge, aren't options that you can use. So Fleury will fill one of those holes, but he's not going to fix Gleyber Torres not hitting. He's not going to fix, DJ not being as good as he's been. He's not going to fix the Luke Voigt injury. He's not going to fix Sanchez. There's a lot of problems with this team, and there's not enough players in the minor league system that have talent that are going to be able to make this change. So it's going to, you say the Yankee fans aren't the guys that are going to sit on their hands and be like, oh, it's not our time, but it is our time, right? This is the window, right? This is when we should be competing for a World Series. These are the players that everybody talked about. And I think the exact, when you look at it, the fact that the minor league system is so worn down and the fact that we don't have many options to go to in the minor leagues, it points to that even more, because there's guys in the minor league system that are good, but they're still 2-3 years away. Right. So it's, this is the time. This is the time when we need to be winning or competing for World Series. Any team would look at it like this. It's not just the Yankees franchise. The players that we have should be competing. And if they're not competing right now, they're getting paid way too much money to, score on average 3.74 runs per game, which Ken Rosenthal just tweeted out is the third worst in the league. So there needs to be changes, and Boone coming out and saying, oh, we're looking through it and we'll fix it. That really doesn't do much, because it's been the same thing for years.
It doesn't matter that they direct him what to do. He still has to go, because he just, like I said, he doesn't bring value.
Yeah.
Somebody who does something, like just anything. He literally does nothing.
Yeah, again, it looks great. It looks fine when they're hitting home runs and everything's okay. But when it comes to, you're starting to see, it's easy to put the names on the card when everybody's hitting, and it's easy to put the names on the card when you have some of the best players in the world. But when the injuries start piling up, and when you got to reach to the minor league system, and you got to find who's good, and you got to figure it out, you got to have some sort of management there. And I saw something yesterday with Girardi and how everybody, he led us to a Game 7 against a cheating team, and he gets fired. At this point, it's like, I know Aaron Boone is, it's crazy, because he's not even a Yankee legend. He hit one home run against the Red Sox to advance to the World Series. Yeah, it's. You would think that there'd be, in any other organization, there'd probably be a change at this point, especially with the talent that's out there and the talent that should be producing, and there isn't. So here we are.
Accountability. That's the biggest problem. There is no accountability. You could suck at your job, but we like our system. We believe in our system, so we're not going to do anything.
Well, again, we talk about this I've talked about this 6 times. I feel like the Yankees love the Yankee way. They love the Yankee way. They can only be the Yankee way. We can't do it any other way. We have to be the Yankees, and we have to do it our way. And our way is going to work, whether you guys like it or not, or whether it looks like it's working or not. We're going to make it work, because the Yankees have to do things the way they want to do things. Buddy of mine said yesterday, we're trying too hard to be the Rays. We need to be the Yankees. We don't have the players to be the Rays. We don't have the options to be the Rays. Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge are not Tampa Bay Ray players. There's a reason that those guys are going to get big money. And it's because they're good players, and because they're players that aren't out there to hit for singles and hit for, stats and hit for, sabermetrics. The Yankees are the Yankees. Let's go spend some money. Go do, we're not just freaking get some guys that the team is so poorly constructed from an offensive perspective. It's not even funny. And it's been biting us in the ass in the playoffs for years. And now it's just biting us in the ass before we even get to the playoffs.
And honestly, I do think Gleyber's going to turn around, but his play is pathetic. And I think just because too, Voigt's going to be out a while, you can move some guys around. I don't care who they have to give up. I would honestly just trade for Trevor Story. Just give the offense some type of surge, okay, and then let Gleyber know. Voigt's coming back. We got to see who's going to be here, who's not. And if you're not going to perform, we're going to get rid of you, and just make that known. Make it known that you can't show up to work and hit 170 and expect to be in the lineup batting 5th.
Yeah, well, I think that's the other problem, right? Even in Judge's worst times up until this season, he was batting 2nd. It's like there can't be a lock on a guy that the guy's got to bat in the top 5. If Judge sucks, Judge should be batting 7, 8, or 9. If Glaber sucks, he should be batting 7, 8, or 9. Like these guys, like in any other team, that's what happens. That's what happens. But Judge had for the longest time had that lock in the 2 hole, no matter what he did. Glaber's had that lock on the 5 hole, no matter or above, no matter what he's done. It's a problem. It's a serious issue that the Yankees have with just being like, oh, these guys are our guys. Like they're, they'll figure it out. Like we trust them. Like we can't, we don't want to hurt their feelings. That's why they brought Aaron Boone in, right? Because Joe Girardi wasn't the type that was going to put up with any BS and wasn't going to be the guy that, cared whether a young player was an up-and-coming prospect who had been pampered for 7 years because he was the best prospect in the system. Joe Girardi didn't care about any of this stuff. Aaron Boone was brought in because it was a bunch of young guys who were pampered for their entire minor league career, and they wanted to make sure that they were okay when they got up to the major leagues. And, now literally that's what it's been. It's been a bunch of young guys who've been pampered and have hit a bunch of home runs and have been one of the highest scoring offenses because they've done that in the regular season. But again, when it comes to the postseason, they can't do that. And here we are. Here it's
the interesting part, when they struggled in the postseason, the thought was, oh, Judge and Stanton strike out too much. And obviously Judge is having a great year. He's hitting over 300. His slugging's very high, very high OPS. Stanton has had a great year. I know he's struggled since he came back from the IL, but relative, he's doing what he needs to do. It's the fact that you're literally just getting nothing out of everyone else. And I don't care if Florial and Gittins, aren't going to win the MVP, but I think they have a very good shot at hitting above 200. And it's ridiculous to say, but that's what we're looking at here, and have some type of surge on the bat. No one has any lift on anything.
Yeah, they're just not hitting the ball hard. It's like, and this is the other thing. It's they've been talking about this consistently. It's low exit velocity combined with slow players combined, equals basically, or excuse me, not low exit velocity, hard hit balls, ground ball rate, and slow players equals double plays. And the Yankees have like almost 60 double plays this season that they've hit into, and we're in May. That's like a double play a game. It's that type of stuff, not getting the power on the ball, not getting into the outfield. It's, somebody tweeted yesterday, if the it's time the Yankees, destroyed the IBM computers and kicked out all the nerds that think that they know what they're doing over there, because that's really what this has turned into. It's turned into, hey, Judge can hit second because that's where he statistically or sabermetrically or analytically is best hitting, but doesn't take into account for slumps. It doesn't take into account for when people aren't playing well.
Mentally there.
Yeah, it's the Yankee way. The Yankee way. Gotta love it.
Yeah, so obviously, it's been a terrible stretch here. They've lost 4 straight, 6 out of 7, and even after, completely embarrassing themselves in Detroit, you felt, okay, last series against Tampa was pretty good. Maybe they'll get off to a good start here, but no pop in the bats at all. And Taillon, I've decided that his new name is Mr. 5 innings because that's all he can give us, and it's always
but
mediocre.
He's not the problem though, right?
But
They gave up 3 runs though.
Let's not accept mediocrity. He has a 5 ERA. That's not good.
So but what do you like if he's going out there and giving you 3 earned runs even if he's your 5 starter, if he's going
to be a starter and he's giving up 3 earned runs, a 5.40 ERA, and he deserves to be in a rotation for a team that could win a World Series.
I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that's
not an issue, but it's a issue.
If the Yankees score 5 runs like they should against a shit team, or against the Rays, then they win the game. 3 runs, I'm okay if he goes 3 runs, 5 innings. That's fine with me if he's going to be your 5 starter, because we have the bullpen to do it, and we have the other starters that will. When Monty was going 5 innings, 3 earned runs back 4 years ago, we were fine with it because the runs were there. He was pitching well. He was solid, and the bullpen was there. I don't think that Taillon is the major issue here. I think the major issue is on the offensive side of the ball.
It's just a point that we just can't accept stuff that's just not good, and that's what the whole organization and the whole team is doing. So that's what we can't do. And I just think it's sad, honestly. And especially when you look at yesterday. I mean, Andujar, like you mentioned, I've always liked Andujar, and he was really getting me worried, for a while. But he picked it up. He finally homers. He goes 2 for 4. But rest of the lineup, 3 for 27, one extra base hit. And like you mentioned, I mean, they lead the league in grounding into double plays. So you're not going to score runs grounding into double plays. And they were saying it on Talking Yanks, too, that it's like every time you're watching a game, the Yankees half of the inning on offense takes about 90 seconds, and then the other team's up to bat, it feels like, for 20 minutes. And that's just every game, it feels like. So obviously, you just want to see them turn it around. And I think tonight is going to be a tough task because you got Tyler Glasnow. And how many times have we seen Yankee hitters struggle against guys with high velocity up in the zone? I mean, I just can picture Sanchez swinging right through it. I mean, I see it right in front of me. I mean, am I wrong here, Gino? Aren't you not really confident at all the Yankees offense against Glasnow tonight?
Yeah, I mean, why would you be? Why would you be? But who would you be confident? I'm not confident against anybody. Never mind Tyler Glasnow. So it's not going to be good tonight. Not going to be good. Less confident than they already am. It's not going to be good.
Even if there is such a thing. And
and then what they'll do is somehow they'll come out and they'll hit 7 runs and they'll come out and be, oh, we fixed it. And then tomorrow they'll come out against Rich Hill and hit the ball 2 times, or I don't know if Rich Hill pitched yesterday. I honestly have no idea. Yeah. But they'll come out against somebody crappy and they'll hit the ball.
But I don't even. I mean, how many times did they even score 7 runs? I mean,
twice.
I would
maybe?
Has
that even happened?
I don't think they've hit double digits. I don't.
No, definitely.
I mean, that's insane. When was the last time the Yankees didn't hit double digits 2 months through the season?
I mean, again, it's and they'll go and be like, oh man, the dead end balls, we can't hit the ball out of the park. But how about you just freaking hit the ball into a gap? That's the problem. Yeah. It's a homer based team. It's a home run based team. We need to hit for contact, and not one person in the minor league system is even teaching them that. Probably they're teaching launch angle and how to get the ball up and how to hit it out of the park. And it's infuriating that they just don't know how to hit the ball for contact. And I mean, Andujar hasn't had much power, but he's at least getting singles. He's getting on base. At least, I mean, and the getting on base thing too is, the Aaron Hicks approach is not the way to do it either. And stand up there and take 7 pitches and hope you walk. It's just freaking. I mean, but we're not even getting DJ to hit the ball. So I don't know.
Yeah, that really has killed us. And that's why I said before that the last couple of years, he's masked those issues because he was just on every time. I mean, you're hitting last year 364. I mean, think about how much he's hitting 100 points lower, over 100 points lower this season. I mean, who would have expected that? So it will be, Glasnow versus Herman, 7:05 tonight on Yes. And like I said, I just don't feel good about it. I mean, it just honestly, I think the over-under for Ks for Glasnow has to be set at 15.
Oh, yeah, easily, dude.
I mean,
especially with the way, the Yankees have had their at-bats. And to boot, I think the last time Herman played the Rays, I think he let up 4 runs in 4 innings.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, it's tough, dude. The Rays are a really good team. They have a good mix of lefty and righty hitters. Mm-hmm. They have hitters who can hit for contact. They have hitters who can drive the ball deep, and they're an extremely fast team. They have a decent team. But I mean, look, dude, like Gino was saying, you let up 3 runs. I mean, you should be able to back up your pitcher like that. I mean, you have the bullpen to do it. You just need the hits, I think, is the biggest issue, like we've been talking about. And I mean, I think moving forward, I don't think it's too late to start salvaging the season. I mean, we're only a third into the season.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not.
We just got to start making moves and holding people accountable. Like you said, I mean, the post-game conference yesterday, Boone is just talking about how good the Rays are the whole time. And it's like, okay, dude, the Rays are good, but you should be better.
No, and I think the problem here is it just shows, like we were talking about before with the Steinbrenner, with how he doesn't care about the fans. He literally does not care about the fans. He cares about his bottom line. He cares about recouping his losses from a lost season last year with not having fans in there and how their organization
which is ironic.
And it's just like, well, you're going to lose a lot of fans if you keep putting out a team like this. So, what are you doing? So hopefully, he wakes up or their bats wake up. I don't know what's more likely to happen first, honestly. I guess the bats. That's not saying much. So please don't give me another clugger tonight. I'm not confident at all. I'm almost predicting the clunker, honestly. But we will see what happens. And on the sunnier side of town, we do have the New York Mets and winners of 5 straight. They've opened up a 3.5 game lead over Atlanta. Take it away, Tony.
I mean, dude, you got to start with this weekend since we were off yesterday. Mets 2 out of 3 games get rained out, whatever, because Saturday they scored 13 runs, more than enough for the whole weekend, bro. I mean, a team like the Braves, I mean, yeah, Ozuna's out, right? But I mean, they're such a heavy hitting team. You know, Acuna has like one of the highest amount of home runs in the league. Freeman is a big hitter. Albies, Riley, Swanson. They hold them to 2 runs, bro. And then to boot, the whole team is hitting. I mean, you have Lindor, who, you know, has been obviously pretty lackluster at the plate. He goes 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. McCann, also lackluster at the plate, gets 4 hits on Saturday. Smith was up there. McKinney did well, former Yankee. Maben, all these guys were just hitting the whole game. I mean, it was phenomenal. The only thing that I'm worried about from this weekend is I think the Mets have played like 7 or 8 less games than like anyone else in the NL East. So it's like at some point they have to make these up. And I feel like they're going to have like a lot of double headers coming down the stretch late in the season. And honestly, you just kind of hope at that point that they're extremely healthy. Because, I mean, they could kind of kill them, especially if they don't have, you know, their starters in at the time. But, I mean, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And then Arizona yesterday, first game, 6-2. I mean, again, bro, I mean, just the hitting is there. DeGrom started yesterday, and, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start from him. He goes 5 hitless innings, 6 scoreless innings, only gives up 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. I mean, it's unbelievable how much faster he's throwing the ball. He was hitting 103 consistently yesterday, consistently hitting 103. He was relying heavily on his fastball, and when his fastball wasn't there, he went to hits you with a slider going 93 miles an hour, and he strikes out, and that's not even hitting his changeup. I mean, the guy has 3 really good pitches. Like, he has 3 weapons to use, and then I think one aspect of DeGrom's game that no one really talks about is his hitting. He went 1 for 3 yesterday with an RBI. He's batting .450 on the season.
I mean, can we have him back cleanup?
Honestly, he might as well. He's got to be the best hitting pitcher in the league. And then, yeah, to boot, I mean, our bench players, our AAA guys we're bringing up. We kind of talked a little bit about it with the Yankees. I mean, we've just lucked out. We've had so many good acquisitions. We brought up Williams yesterday as well. He's also a former Yankee. He went 1 for 3, one with 1 walk. I mean, it's, having these guys come from AAA and just kind of hit the ground running is great. I mean, he got his first hit as a Met off his first pitch, first pitch single into left field. I mean, like, I feel like you don't really see that. The confidence he already had at the plate. He's been doing well in AAA, and he kind of brought that up to the major leagues. It's phenomenal to see. And again, Lindor went 2 for 4, which is, you'd love to see that. He's kind of slowly getting his batting average up to 200 again. Hopefully it doesn't drop, And then Alonso is back for his first game after his right hand sprain. 2 for 5, 4 RBIs, 1 home run. I mean, you just love to see it, dude.
Yeah, and speaking of Mason Williams, I have to say I have to give props to him because he's a guy. He had some expectations, in the Yankees minor league system, and really never became the guy that they expected. But he's approaching 30, but he hasn't given up. You know what I mean? And you love to see those type of stories.
Yeah, and he certainly has the experience. You could say he's like a veteran, and he's bringing up that attitude to a team that's relatively young, especially with a lot of guys coming up from AAA who haven't seen a lot of major league time. So, you gotta love to see that.
And let me tell you, if it's not for the Mets, it's going to be for someone else. Billy McKinney is going to be an important player. I mean, that was a bomb he hit late last night. With 8th inning, I think.
8th inning, yeah, man. And, to extend the Mets lead and give Familia even more of a cushion in the 9th is always a good thing because you never know what he's going to be throwing. But, yeah, dude, I mean, I honestly, you cannot be more ecstatic with the way this team, with the way the Mets are playing. I mean, they struggle with their injuries. They brought up so many, like we mentioned before, they're pretty much fielding a AAA team almost. And they're doing well, man. They're holding their teams to, under 2-3 runs, and then they're getting more than 3 runs. So, they're winning these games, and you would expect for them not to be almost with this team. But
would you say you're almost a Familia fan now? I mean, he's done pretty good this year, no?
He's done very well. I mean, still, It's in the back of my head,
When's he gonna blow it?
Exactly. So, give him another few good outings. I mean, 2 strikeouts in the 9th, and I think 1 ground out, which is exactly what you're looking for. I think he gave him a hit, but I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, you got the win. So a couple more good outings from him, and then I'll be a familiar
top
fan,
setup
dude.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Gino, I mean, obviously they've gone through a lot, injuries, rain out, a lot of different things with Lindor, not, really meeting expectations. I mean, are you almost impressed with, what the Mets have been able to do here?
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's impressive. It's impressive to see, what they've done. I mean, they've basically had no lineup for extended periods here, just a bunch of minor leaguer guys. And hey, I mean, maybe you're right, Barnes. Maybe that's what the Yankees need, just to bring up a bunch of hungry minor league guys. Not to think of it,
drive, no entitlement.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been crazy. And I mean, they've stayed up top without DeGrom. Now DeGrom's back, so the Mets have looked good, and all the props to them, man, because they have done a good job to get to this point. And I think from a neutral perspective, Mets fans deserve this. Considering all they've been through this season already. So
I deserve this.
And we'll have another late start tonight, obviously out west, 9:40 on SNY. Marcus Stroman versus former Yankee Caleb Smith. I liked what I've seen out of Stroman. He's not overpowering dominant, but he's solid. And that's what you need in the middle of your rotation.
Yeah, he's very consistent. We talked about his contact pitcher. And although, there was some talk that, his past few starts have been, against some of the worst major league lineups. However, we're still playing the Diamondbacks. They're, roughly average in terms of offense. So it's like, you don't expect anything less than a good outing. And from Caleb Smith, I think he started with the Diamondbacks, obviously in the rotation, but I think they pulled him into the bullpen after 1 start. I think he got smacked around by the Padres, I believe. But I mean, he's posting a 2.70 ERA in 18 relief appearances. But obviously throwing him out there as a starter, switching it up a little bit. So,
but you think it's more than likely an opener, or at least 2 or 3 innings versus a typical
right? No, yeah, it definitely wouldn't be like a 6-inning start. But still him coming out as an opener. You never know. It's a different feel for pitchers. So.
Yeah, and it's quick. I mean, the Diamondbacks is not like they're 20 over 500. I mean, I wouldn't entirely rule out him going back to being a full starter. I've always liked his stuff. It just consistency. Can he do it on a consistent basis? But the stuff is there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then of course, I mean, I forgot to mention from yesterday's game, Kevin Pillar, dude.
Yeah.
Coming back after 2 weeks from getting hit in the face with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah, he pinched hit for DeGrom, got a hit.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. He was 1 for 1 last
Why would you ever pinch hit for DeGrom?
I honestly,
I don't get why they bother doing
right. It's so stupid, dude. But whatever. You have to keep Pillar out.
They probably wanted to get him out there.
Yeah, just throw him out there. Why not? Dude?
Little motivation for the.
But have you seen them do that? Like if he's done pitching, will they keep him in the hit?
No,
they don't do that. Okay.
No.
But hey, I have to say, I'll be the first one to admit I definitely been impressed at what they've done, and they'll look to win another game here tonight, against the Diamondbacks. So we'll see what happens, and just as far as baseball is concerned, I mean, just really, really hoping that the Yankees can get it together and score some runs. But I'm telling you, I'm almost predicting a loss tonight, a lifeless loss. So prove me wrong. Okay, prove me wrong. And as you can see, the background has changed, so we're talking about something a little less negative here. So we have the Charles Schwab Invitational over the weekend, wrapped up on Sunday. And I have to say, the pronunciation I got wrong on Friday's show. It's actually Jason Kokrak. I had pronounced.
Would you say
Cockrock?
Cockrock, dude.
Called him Cockrock.
So he does get the win, and Jordan Spieth was either tied or ahead in this tournament for the first 3 rounds, and he goes 3 over par, so he chunks it. It's a tough one for him for sure. Obviously, I mean, everything stings, but at least you could say, it wasn't a major tournament. And Richard Goldstein, let's go Mets. He's riled up.
Let's fucking go Mets.
Got to give it to you, Rich. They do look good. But like I was saying, I think it's tough for Jordan after he was able to win earlier. Has contended at some of these majors, but just hasn't fully put it together yet, and he'll look to do that this week as they move to the Memorial Tournament at Muirfield Village in Ohio. And this is what they call Jack's Place because the course is owned and was designed by Jack Nicklaus, one of the greatest golfers of all time. That's going to start on Thursday. Defending champion John Rahm, and this is one of those tournaments. It's not a major, but it's right below it. So I think it's good preparation because the course plays tough. We got the U.S. Open in a couple weeks, so these guys want to be in prime form going into that. And you always look forward to the majors, but I'm looking forward to watching this one. And as we start Thursday, and we'll talk about it a little tomorrow, I'll kind of give my prediction for the tournament. So looking forward to that. So
very nice.
I mean, can we even add anything else to that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anything? I mean, what do we got?
I'm depressed. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
you an awful week, and in terms of sports,
time
with the
Canadians. The Canadians have been the only bright spot.
Tone, hey Gino. First of all, great decorating that the door over there. It looks good.
I know it's actually got a welcome sign on it. It should be on the other side of the door.
Welcome sign as you're leaving. Yeah, very nice, dude.
As you're walking out, welcome to the end of your life.
I know we don't usually predict baseball games, but any prediction for tonight? Yankees Rays.
You're still. Oh, you want to go back to it, dude?
4-0 Rays. I don't know.
Rays over under 3 hits for the Yankees.
Honestly, even. Or
yeah,
under?
Yeah, I would say that.
I'm not confident.
No one scored. I don't even know if anyone makes it into a.
This is going to be the Yankees box score, the 3 box score line. It's going to be like 0 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, 4-0 Rays.
Hey, Herman could pitch a perfect game, and then they could bunt a run in or something.
Yeah.
Even if Herman could pitch a perfect game, and the Yankees still won't win this game. I promise you.
He literally throws a perfect game through 9, and they lose in extras.
Oh my God. I'm not coming to Sports Board tomorrow if that's the case.
Oh my God. I don't think anyone can come to the building with Barnes.
Barnes is going to blow up the building.
Oh man. I hope the Yankees were listening, especially Hal Steinbrenner. So
I hope he was too.
I hope he's on his private jet.
We are clipping that and we are posting it, and we are going to tag Hal Steinbrenner.
Tagging him.
Everyone.
Tagging him. Let's get talking Yanks here. Let's talk to them about this.
Yes, everybody.
I'm sure they agree with us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure.
I think they should. We should clip that, tag them, and they'll play it in the locker room for them to get hyped for the rest of the season.
Yes. So
we know once you turned it around.
Yeah, guys, you're trying your best. I believe in you. God, you're not doing as bad as you are. Oh wait, you are. You're doing terrible. So let's get that straight. I mean, is there anything we can even add to that, fellas?
No, I think that's the best way to end.
Yeah?
I mean, hopefully tomorrow we'll be recapping 2 New York wins.
Yeah. Oh, man. But as always, would like to thank everyone for joining us. Keep commenting, liking, subscribing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.